Beside the equator geotic, the North Pole 90 degrees, South Pole 90, there are four important parallel of angles of latitude. Tropic of Cancer 23.5 degree north. Tropic of Cancer 29 degree hot. Tropic of Capricorn 23.5 degree south. Southern hemisphere in southern Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north of the equator. Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degree of equator. Heat zones of the earth. The midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitude in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. This area therefore receives the maximum heat and is called the torrid torrid zone. The midday the sun never shines overhead and any latitude beyond the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, the angle of the sun's ray goes on decreasing towards the pole. As such, the area bounded by the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in southern hemisphere have moderate temperature. These are therefore called temperate zone. Areas lying between the Arctic Circle and North Pole, after the North Pole hemisphere and the Antarctic Circle and South Pole in the southern hemisphere are very cold. It is because here the sun does not rise much, does not rise much above the horizon. Therefore, its rays are always slanting and provides less heat. These are therefore called fridge zones. What are longitudes? To fix the position of a place, it is necessary to know something more than the latitude of the place. You can see, for example, that Tonga Island in the Pacific Ocean and Mauritius Island in the Indian Ocean are situated on the same latitude, 20 degrees south. Now, in order to locate them precisely, we must find out how far east and west these places, how far east or west these places are from a given line of reference running from the North Pole to the South Pole. These lines of references are called meridian of longitude, and the distance between them are measured in degree of longitude. Each degree is further divided into minutes and minute into seconds. They are semicircle and the distance between them decreases steadily polewards until it becomes zero at the pole where all the meridians meet. Unlike parallel of latitude, all meridians are of equal length. Thus, it was difficult to number the meridian. Hence, all countries decide that the count should begin from the meridian which passed through Greenwich, where the British Royal Observatory is located. This meridian is called prime meridian. Its value is 0 degree longitude. And from it we count with 180 degree eastward as well as 180 degree westward. The prime meridian and 180 degree meridian divides the earth into two equal halves, the eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Therefore, the longitude of a place is followed by the letter E for east and W for west. It is, however, interesting to note that 180 degree east and 180 degree west meridian are on same line. Now, look at the grid of parallels of latitude and meridian of longitude. Now look at the grid of parallels of latitude and meridians of longitude on the globe. You can locate any point on the globe very easily if you know its latitude and longitude. For example, Dhubri in Assam is situated at 26 degree north latitude and 90 degree east longitude. Find out the point where these two lines cut each other. That point will be located of location of Dhubri. To understand this clearly, draw equidistant vertical and horizontal lines on paper. Label the vertical row with numbers of horizontal row with letters. Draw some small circle randomly on points where the horizontal and vertical line intersect each other. Name these small circles as A, B, C, D, E. The let vertical lines represent east longitude and horizontal line as north latitude. Uh, Now you will see that circle A is located on uh, B degree north latitude and 1 degree east latitude. Find out the location of other circles. Longitude and time, the best means of measuring. The best means of measuring time is by movement of the earth, the moon and the planets. The sun regularly rises and sets every day, and naturally it is the best timekeeper throughout the world. Local time can be uh, reckoned by shadow cast by the sun, which is the shortest at noon and longest at sunrise and sunset. When the prime meridian of Greenwich has the sun at the highest point in the sky, all the places along the meridian will have midday or noon. As the north rotates from west to east, those places as the earth rotates from west to east, those places east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich time, and those to the west will be behind it. As the earth rotates from west to east, as the earth rotates from west to east, those places east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich time, and those to the west will be behind it. The rate of difference can be calculated as follows. The earth rotates 360 degree in about 24 hours, which means 15 degree in an hour and 1 degree in 4 minutes. 15 degree in an hour and 1 degree in 4 minutes. Thus, when it is 12 noon at Greenwich, the time at 15 degree east of Greenwich will be 4 into 15 into 4 equals 60 minutes. That is 1 hour ahead of Greenwich time, which means that 1 p.m. but at 15 degree west of Greenwich by 1 hour, that is it will be 11 a.m. Similarly, at 180 degree it will be midnight when it is 12 degree noon at Greenwich. At any place, a watch can be adjusted to read 12 o'clock when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. When it is midday, the time shown by such watch will be local time for that place. You can see that all the places on a given meridian of longitude have the same local time. Why do we have standard time? The local time of place which are the local time The local time of places which are on different meridians are bound to differ. For example, it will be difficult to prepare a timetable for trains which cross uh, longitude. Several longitude. In India, for instance, there will be a difference of about 1 hour 45 minutes in the local time of Dwarka in Gujarat and Dibrugarh in Assam. It is therefore necessary to adopt the local time of some central meridian in India. The longitude of 80 east, 82 and half degree east is treated as a standard meridian. The local time at which meridian is as taken as the standard time for a whole country. It is known as the Indian Standard Time (IST). Indian Standard Meridian 82 and half degree east. Kabir lived in a small town near Bhopal. He tells his friend Alok that He tells his friend Alok that they will not be able to sleep tonight. A day and night cricket match between India and England has started at 2 p.m. in London. This means that the match would begin at 7:30 p.m. in India and finish will into night. Do you know what is the time difference between India and England? Pause. 5.5 hours. India located east of Greenwich at 82.5 degree east in 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT. India located east of Greenwich in which 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT. So it will be 7:30 p.m. in India, whereas 2 p.m. in noon in London. Some countries have great longitudinal extent, so they have adopted more than one standard time. For example, in Russia, there are as many as 11 standard times. Now, the Earth has been divided into 24 time zone of 1 hour each. Each zone thus covers 15 degree of longitude. diversity and discrimination. There are many things that make us what we are, how we live, the languages we speak, what we eat, wear, and the game we play, and the things we celebrate. All of these are influenced both by the geography and history of the places where we live. There are there are many things that we that make us what are. There are many things that make us what we are, how we live, the languages we speak, what we eat, where the game we play, and the things we celebrate. All of these are influenced both by the geography and history of the place where we live. You will get an idea of how diverse India is if you look even briefly at the following statement. There are eight major religions in the world. Every single one of them is practiced in India. We have more than 1600 languages that are people's mother tongues, and there are more than 100 dance forms. Yet, this diversity is not always celebrated. This is because we feel safe and secure with people who look, talk, dress, and think like us. Sometimes, when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. Sometimes, when we meet people who are very different from us, we may find them strange and unfamiliar. At times, we may not understand or know the reason why they are different from us. People always form certain attitudes and opinion about others who are not like them. People always form certain attitudes and opinions about others who are not like them. Prejudice. Look at the statements below that you believe to be true about rural and urban life in India. Tick mark those that you agree with. Do you have a prejudice against rural or against rural or urban people? Find out if this is shared by other and discuss the reason why people have these prejudice. Can you list some of the prejudice that you have noticed around you? How do they affect the way in which people treat each other? More than 50% of all Indians live in villages. People in villages do not like to use modern technology. In peak harvesting and plantation season, families spend 12 to 14 hours working in the field. Villagers are forced to migrate in cities to search work. Rural, rural on urban people. Rural life in the city is easy. People here are spoiled and lazy. In cities, families spend very little time with each other. People in cities only care about money, not about people. Living in a city is expensive. A large part of people's earning is spent on rent and transportation. Some of these statements see villagers as Some of these statements see villagers as ignorant and see people. Some of these statements see villagers as ignorant and see people in cities as money minded and lazy. When our opinions about certain people are always negative, seeing them as seeing them as lazy, stingy, As some of these statements, as some of these statements, then these become prejudice that we carry about them. When our opinions about certain people are always negative to judge. When we think that only one particular way is the when we think that only one when we think that only one particular when we think that only one particular way is best to do the thing is the best and the right way to do things, we often end up not respecting others who may prefer to do things differently. For example, if we think English is the best language and other languages are not important, we are judging these other languages negatively. As a result, we might not respect people who speak languages other than English. We can be prejudiced, prejudiced about many things. People's religious beliefs, the color of their skin, the region they come from, the accent they speak in, the clothes they wear. Often our prejudice about others are so strong that we don't want to form friendships with them. At times, we may even act in ways that hurt them, creating stereotypes. All of us are familiar with gender differences. What does it mean to be a boy or a girl? Many of you would say we are born as boys and girls. It is a given. What is there to think about? Let's see in this case. Arrange the statement given below in these two sections according to what you think is appropriate for the section. They are well behaved, they are soft spoken and gentle, they are physically strong, they are naughty, they are good at dance and painting, they don't cry, they are rowdy, they are good at sports, they are good at cooking, they are emotional. Now check with your teacher's help who has put which statement where. Find out the discuss people reasons for doing this. Are the qualities you put in for boys something that boys are born with? If we take the statement, they don't cry, you will see that this is a quality that is generally associated with boys and men. A babies or children, when boys fall and hurt themselves, their parents and other family members often console them by saying, "Don't cry, you are a boy. Boys are brave and they don't cry." As children grow up, they start believing that boys do not cry, so that even if a boy feels like crying, he stops himself from doing so. He also believes that crying is a sign of weakness, so even the both boys and girls sometimes want to cry, especially if they are angry or in pain. They are angry or in pain. As they grow older, boys learn to teach themselves not to cry. If a grown boy cries, then he feels that others will either tease him or laugh at him, and so he stops himself from doing so in front of others. This is why the boys are, and this is the way boys are, and this is how girls are. These are statements we hear constantly and accept without even thinking, and we start believing that each one of us must behave accordingly. We fit all boys and all girls into a image that society creates around us. You can take other statements such as they are soft and gentle or they are well behaved and discuss how these are applied to girls. Do girls possess these qualities at birth or did learn such behaviors from others? What do you think about girls who are not soft and gentle and those who are naughty? When we fix people into one image, we create a stereotype. मारेगा घर में घुस के मारूंगा औकात हो ना तो छू लेना when people say that those who belong to a particular country, religion, sex, race, or economic background are stingy, lazy, criminals, or dumb, they are using stereotypes. They are stingy and generous people every there are stingy and generous people everywhere, in every country, in every religion, in every group, whether rich or poor, male or female. And just because some people are like that, it is not fair to think that everyone will be the same. Stop us from looking at each person as a unique stereotype stops us from looking at each person as a unique individual with his or her own special qualities and skills that are different from others. They fit large numbers of people into only one pattern or type. Inequality and discrimination. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudice. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudice or stereotype. If you do something to put other people down, if you stop them from taking part in certain activities and taking up jobs, or stop them from living in certain neighborhoods, prevent them from taking water from the same well or hand pump, and not allow them to drink tea in the same cup or glasses as others, you are discriminating against them. Discrimination can take place because of several reasons. You probably recall from the previous chapter that Samir Ek and Samir Do were different from each other in many ways. For example, they belong to different religions. This is an aspect of diversity. However, this diversity can also be source of discrimination. A group of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in group of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in a specific region, etc. may be discriminated as their customs or practices by may be seen as inferior. Another difference between the two Samirs was in their economic background. Samir, though was poor, the difference, as you have read earlier, is not a form of diversity but of inequality. People who are poor do not have the resources or the money to meet their basic needs, clothing and shelters. They experience discrimination in office They experience discrimination in offices, in hospital, school, etc., where they are treated badly because they are poor. Some people may experience both kind of discrimination. They are poor and they belong to a group who culture is not valued. Tribal, some religious group and even particular region are discriminated against for more one or these reasons. In the following section, we will look at how a famous Indian was discriminated against. This will help to understand the way in which caste was used to discriminate against large number of people. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the greatest leaders of India, shares his first experience of caste-based discrimination, which took place in 1901. Dalit is a term that people belonging to so-called lower caste use to address themselves. They prefer this word to untouchable. Dalit means those who have been broken. This word, according to Dalit, shows how social prejudice and discrimination have broken the Dalit people. The government refers to this group of people as scheduled caste. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the greatest leaders of India, shares his first experience of caste-based discrimination, which took place in 1901. Uh, when he was just 9 years old, he had gone with his brother and cousins to meet his father in Koregaon, which is now in Maharashtra. Long did we wait, but no one turned up. An hour elapsed, and the station master came to inquire. He asked us for our ticket. We show we showed him them to him. We showed them to him. He asked us why tarried. We told him we were bound for Koregaon and that we were waiting for father or his servant to come, but that neither had turned up and that we did not know how to reach Koregaon. We were well dressed children from our dress or talk. No one could make out that we were children of the untouchable. Indeed, the station master was quite sure we were Brahmin children and was extremely touched at the plight in which we had in which he found us as is usual among the Hindu. The station master asked us who we were without a woman's that I blurted out that we were Mahar. Mahar is one of the communities which were treated as untouchable in Bombay Presidency. He was stunned. His face underwent a sudden change. We could see that he was overpowered by a strange feeling of repulsion. As soon as he heard my reply, he went away to his room and we stood where we were. 15 to 20 minutes elapsed. The sun was almost setting. Our father had not turned up, nor had he sent his servant, and now the station master had also left us. We were quite bewildered, bewildered, and the joy and happiness which we felt at the beginning of journey gave way to a feeling of extreme sadness. After half an hour, station master returned and asked us what we proposed to do. We said that if we could get a bullock cart hire, we would go to Koregaon, and if it was not very far away, we would like to start straightway. There were many bullock carts playing for hire, but my reply to station master that Mahars, we were Mahars, had gone round among the cart men, and not one of them was prepared to suffer being polluted and to demean himself carrying passengers of the untouchable class. We were prepared to pay double of the fare, but we found that money did not work. The station master who was negotiating on our behalf stood silent, not knowing what to do. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, 1891 to 1956. 1891 to 1956. The struggle for freedom from British rule also included within the struggle of large group of people who not only fought against the British but also fought to be treated more equally. Dalits, women, tribal, and peasants fought against the inequalities they experienced in their lives. As pointed out earlier, many organized themselves to gain entry into temple. Women demanded that they should have as much as right to education as men did. Peasants and tribal fought to release themselves from the grasp of the moneylender and the high interest they were charged. When India became a nation in 1947, our leaders who were concerned about the different kind of inequality that existed, those who wrote the Constitution of India, a document that laid out the rules by which the nation would function, were aware of the ways in which discrimination had been practiced in our society and how people had struggled against this. Many leaders of these struggles, such as Dr. Ambedkar, had also fought for the right of Dalits. So these leaders set out a vision and goals in the constitution to ensure that all the people of India were considered equal. This equality of all persons is seen as a key value that unites us all as Indian. Everyone and has been legalized by law. People are free to choose the kind of work they wish to do. Government jobs are open to all people. In addition, the Constitution also places responsibility on the government to take specific steps to release this right to equality for the poor and other such marginal communities. The writers of the Constitution also said that respect for diversity was a significant element in ensuring equality. The writers of the Constitution also said that respect for diversity was a significant element in ensuring equality. The writers of Constitution also said that respect for diversity was a significant element in ensuring equality. They felt that people must have the freedom to follow their religion. They felt that people must have freedom to follow their religion, speak their language, celebrate their festival, and express themselves freely. They They said that no one language, religion, or festival should become compulsory for all to follow. They said that the government must treat all religions equally. Therefore, India became a secular country where people of different religion and faiths have the freedom to practice and follow their religion without any fear of discrimination. This is seen as an important element of our unity, that we all live together and respect one another. Though these ideas are enriched in our constitution, though this idea has uh, enshrined, though these ideas are enshrined in our constitution, this chapter points out the inequalities exist even today. Equality is a value that we have to keep striving. Equality is a value that we have to keep striving, and not something which will happen automatically. People's struggle and positive action by the government are necessary to make this a reality for all Indian. The first page of Constitution that clearly states that all Indians are entitled to equality of status and opportunity. Constitution of India Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly. Okay, friends, bye. See you later.